Hello all, Matt here from Vectis 3D Models. Today we're going to have a look at this latest carriage body, which is a South Eastern Railway Family or First Saloon. There's one of these left on the Bluebell, missing one end. Here you can see I have two versions in front of me. So this one here is the later version with the modified brake compartment, and the windows have been moved from there to the end, so it's the later version. This one here is the earlier version. Both of these are prototypes, so the windows are on the side rather than the ends. So this has printed steps and lamp irons on that end and various surface detail you can see. Inside partitions, and still working on the furniture at the moment to put in these. So it was designed a few years ago. Not quite sure what chassis to put them on, and of course Hornby then bought out the generic one here at the back, which is a similar length in terms of fitting and size, shape, etc. And it's a 6-wheel one as well, which is handy. Unfortunately it is 4mm short, so it needs to be chopped and lengthened slightly by 2mm either end. These bodies are not designed to clip on, because these ones you can see clip on with 3 clips either side. These have screw mountings, which you can use machine screws and M2 nuts glued into the top there in their little channels. So that's how these fit together. These will be supplied with torpedo vents for the roof. I've sort of designed the liveries for them, so there'll be a sort of purple lake livery, similar to the bogie carriage, which is on the Kent and East Sussex line as well, which is similar to this one but longer. So I'll take you through each step and how it's done. So we'll go over to the generic carriage and show you how it's done. So this is a BR generic carriage from Hornby. Because it's got a 6-wheeled chassis. I've removed the buffers already, which are awful because they're concave. This unclips from 6 clips to either side, and you can see it clips in with the glazing. So these are quite cheap now, they're about £25–26 between that and 30. So unclip, remove that, don't need that, and you just need the chassis. What I've done is I've built up a little cutting jig, so that will sit there, and that can be tilted upside down and cut with a mitre block and a saw. So what I need to do is I need to cut off each headstock end and push them out by 2mm either way. I've got some black plastic card which is 2mm thick, which should just do the trick. Just showing you the body shell, you can see is a little bit longer, 2mm each end of the actual chassis. So I just need to lengthen the chassis, and hopefully we can work on putting it all back together. I might change the buffers while I'm at it as well, but we'll see. So standard 6-wheel chassis, cut both headstock ends off, put some 2mm plastic card behind the headstocks, lengthen it out, and hopefully that should be the right length. So what I'll do now is I'll prep this ready to cut it and take some photos, and I'll show you the next part. So welcome back. So I've now removed the 2 buffer beams or headstocks using the mitre block and a razor saw. You can pretty much get those under £20 if you need one, and they're always useful if you like cutting up things like I do. So they've been removed, but what I might do in future is 3D print a spacer so it's the right shape, size, and it's a bit simpler to do rather than hacking through 2mm plastic card like I've done. So putting them to one side. So this is the plastic card I'm using. It's 2mm thick, and it's been just cut into a long strip, like you can see here, then cut off in width. I've roughened it up a little bit, taking the shine off of it, and then glued them onto the end. So there's one end here, so this is all glued with araldite, which you can see here. Always use araldite with injection molded plastic because nothing else works or sticks. So I've used that, and it also works nicely just to fill any gaps. And as you can see, I still need to clean off the ends and also the underside before re-gluing the headstocks on each end, but you can see I've added that on here, and we are now getting to a reasonable length. It's a little bit short obviously because the buffer beams are not on, or headstocks are not glued on yet, but you can see almost there. So next job is just basically tidy up, re-glue the headstocks on, and then we'll go on to the next part, which is a bit of a mystery because I haven't done it yet. So this is all prototypical guessing, or prototyping I should say, just making sure it fits before you get it. Okay, so you join me back with the model here. So this is now actually attached to the chassis, as you can see here. So I've made some modifications to the CAD, so this will now clip on to the chassis rather than screw, but you can do both. I've also made some changes to the partitions so they're thinner, and also we've got holes in the top, so if you wish to put some lighting in you can, and you can put a battery in the lavatory compartment, which is this end here. So that's all hidden away. So that clips on nicely, so I've made the changes to the CAD so it will clip as well as screw on to the chassis. That's good. I've also cleaned up the roof a little bit. So that's really all you need to do to fit this to the chassis and get it all looking reasonably good. Somebody did say to me when I posted some photos up of this that it will probably be restored on a four-wheeler chassis, so like a van chassis or something like that, and they're absolutely right, it probably will be. But for those modelling the South Eastern and Chatham or SER, then they'll probably want to use a six-wheeler chassis like this one. So that's ready to go. Furniture is being designed up as I do this video. Then it'll be painted, so it'll be even Crimson Lake or Purple Lake with some yellow lining around the mouldings. Transfers you can probably get from Fox. I think they now do the saloon lettering, which I kind of forced them into doing quite a few years ago. So that's pretty much all ready to go. As I say, this model will come with torpedo vents as well, which I always print anyway. So hopefully you found this video interesting, and I'll put the finished product on the end and also in the gallery of the model itself on the Made Me website. So here we have the body shell on top of the chassis. So this is after the chassis has been extended by approximately 4mm, and the slight difference is now I've 3D printed some spacers, which you can see just here. So these are the same as the underside, for example. So you can see here my temporary 2mm shim to extend it has now been replaced with something 3D printed and in keeping with the underside of the chassis. So, and this is the correct length. So this body shell will just clip on like the old one. So it has the clips you can just see through the window. One there and one at this end and one down that end. So it's to either side. So you can see this one's been cleaned up for body shell, that is, and looks reasonably good. There'll be some filling and some filing to do. When you receive your body shell, let's turn it around for you so you can see, you'll be able to see some little bits left on the side. These need to be cleaned up with some wet and dry sandpaper, sanded down carefully. I don't recommend a knife on this because it's too hard, but it could take you an hour or so. You'll need to sand the roof as well. This one hasn't been done yet. It just needs to be cleaned up, the holes re-drilled for the torpedo vents. You also need to drill the holes for the door handles, which will be an L shape. Just there, you can just about see one there and one there. After that, just standard primer from Halfords, so you can use grey, because this one will be going into... Okay, so the chassis has been done now and lengthened by 4mm. You can see the body shell now clipped onto the chassis. The body shell's had a couple of modifications to enable this, but I've kept the screw mountings at each end. You just need a 2mm or M2 nut and an M2 brass screw. And you obviously have to drill through the underside, etc. to mount them. But this one is using the clips on the inside. You can just about see through the windows. One in the centre there, and one at this end, and one at this end. There's two either bit, of course, opposite on the other side. And this will just clip on to the chassis. So this side's all been cleaned up on the body shell. It will have, you can probably see some support marks on the top. Just use some wet and dry sandpaper for that. That will come off quite nicely. This is a late body shell, you can see by the end. On this side you can see I haven't cleaned this up. I've just used on the other side some wet and dry sandpaper. Don't use a knife because you'll probably hurt yourself. And it comes out quite nice. You'll probably need to do a little bit of filling, but not too much. On the underside I've modified the CAD again. Now you can see on this end my 2mm shim to extend it out that way, which is just black plastic card, but this is all part of prototyping. So what you'll get in the kit, I've 3D printed a 2mm thick extension to add to the chassis, so it keeps with the underside of the chassis itself from Hornby. You can see those two here, so one at each end. You can see the seating and the bench seats for the saloon, and of course there'll be two types of this, so early and late versions, but it fits together well. Tested both, and just needs painting. So if you do your research you can probably find out it's in, I believe, some sort of purple lake or crimson, with some simple lining around the mouldings. But other than that, that is the kit. You'll need to supply your own chassis. You need to supply your own paint, lining, transfers, which I think you can probably get from Fox Transfers, I think. You'll have the torpedo vents as well, which aren't in the picture at the moment. You'll need to do some drilling for the roof vents, and also opening the holes, which is 0.45 or 0.5 mil. Use brass wire, which is 0.45. But what I'll do is I'll continue this recording showing you finishing of it, but for now that is pretty much how to modify the chassis and fit the body shell. Before I do go, I will show you the inside of this early body shell so you can see all the modifications. So we've got the clips here for the chassis. You still got the screws at the end if required, M2 nut and M2 machine screw. This is a strengthening bar, so the sides don't bow outwards. You can see all the supports for the seats on the inside. So this is the saloon, first compartment, and either guard or brake or luggage. Toilet is this end. The other modification, you can just about see there's holes in the partitions, so you can fit lights and hide the battery in the toilet end if you wish. But yes, it needs some finishing, painting. If you do need to sort of move the resin, put it in some hot 40-degree water and either clamp it or do something along those lines to make sure it's straight. It does bow in a little bit here, but I think I've sorted it out now on a newer print. So hopefully these will be available towards early January. Maybe February, but I've got a few printed now, so they should be available soon. Price should be around about late 20s, early 30s. I just need to do some calculations. So it's the South Eastern Railway First Saloon, or Family Saloon. which you can find more information on the Bluebell Railway website. Thanks for watching, and if you want to continue with these, watching how it's been produced and how to finish it, please tune into this channel and keep an eye out for future videos. Thanks for now.